Originally, the X-Men, or mutants, were created as an allegory for many different minorities that existed, including the LGBT community. So that's probably why I feel a bit closer to characters like Bobby Drake, who is a minority within the minority because he is gay himself.
I'm in love with a hero. I'm in love with the one who will...
Hello comic book people of the world, let's talk about the final issue to the Iceman solo series. This is written by Sina Grace and is illustrated by Robert Gill. I am a bit down about this series coming to an end, and I really love Sina Grace's take on Bobby. I appreciated Grace's writing style and having Bobby Drake being an out gay man, but also being an Omega level mutant. The idea of both the younger and the adult version of Iceman coming out, being that he's a character that's been around since the X-Men were first conceived, is something that bothered a lot of people out there. I'm not gonna lie and say that I was on board with Iceman being a gay character when the idea was first conceived, but after thinking about it a bit, I realized this is something that is very common with many people, some of which I know myself that came out in a very later point in their life. And this is something that is so true with what's happening with Iceman. This final issue is somewhat more simplistic, where it's Iceman meeting up with Richter. Richter himself is a bisexual character who was going out with Shatterstar, but they somewhat put their relationship on hiatus. So him and Bobby somewhat go on a date, but they really are just talking about their exes. Their date gets interrupted because Bobby's parents call him home, and they let him know that their neighbor across the street, who is somewhat like a lonely man, is experiencing some issues. Turns out he's a mutant himself who's denying his mutancy. It's great because we get to see Bobby in his flashbacks where he was denying himself being a mutant, and his own self-loathing of being a mutant, but also his self-loathing of being a gay man. I feel like this is a peaceful ending for Bobby's ongoing series, while still paving the way for him to have many more adventures in the future. At the end of this issue, they show the cover of X-Men Gold issue number 23, where they're already letting you know that Iceman's going to be leading his own team, which that's nice, and I'm glad that that's happening. I'm sure it's not going to be in the same kind of direction that Sina Grace was going with his character, but at least he will be there, and he deserves this, being that he is an Omega level mutant, and he has been there since the X-Men first started. The end result for this series is something that I enjoyed. It is difficult for any X-Men member to go solo and have an ongoing series, with the exception of Wolverine. So this was more than likely destined to fail from the beginning, but at least there was a shot being given. The only disappointment that I have is we didn't get to see Iceman team up with some other characters like Northstar, or Spider-Man and the Human Torch. I mean, I would have loved to have seen his interaction with some of these characters in this ongoing series. But it is what it is, and we can't really do a whole lot more about this, with the exception of writing into Marvel and let them know that we want to see Bobby in a stronger role in future X-books. So I thought this was a great final issue. Check it out when you get a chance, or if you want to wait for the trade paperback to come out, you can do that too. It's available at just about any comic book store anywhere, or you can go to Comixology.com and you can download a digital copy from them. But with that, I will let you guys go. Thank you guys for watching me in this video. Be sure to check out my Patreon site when you get a chance. Check out my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Always win. He's a prominent figure.
Since I've done a video on just about every single issue of Iceman that's come out, I've gotten a lot of hate messages. A lot of people who are yelling social justice warrioring and that a character who's been around since the 60s could not possibly come out as being a gay man in today's day. Even though I've tried to explain to them, chances are they may know someone who is in the closet themselves and is denying their sexuality, even up to the point of having a family, having kids, or even having grandchildren. I know a guy who came out at 72, having 5 children himself and 12 grandkids. He waited until he was 72 because at that point he realized he had wasted his entire life. So chances are there could be a superhero who would deny his own sexuality. Even though I've tried to explain this though, there are so many people that just can't accept that.